Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to IBD, Institute of Bioproducts Development webinars, which is Biotechnology, Science, Business, and Society webinars. We are in a series number 30 today. Today we have a very special guest and friend from Pakistan. We have Associate Professor Dr. TAZIEN RASHID, and she's going to talk with us about the green path for lignin valorization. Before that, we would like to welcome Professor TAZIEN, who is the head of the Department of the Chemical Engineering and Technology Department for the Government College University in Faisalabad, Pakistan, which is one of the oldest colleges and universities in Pakistan. Dr. TAZIEN has a strong research portfolio. Her theoretical and applied research addresses for lignocellulosic biomass, and particularly for lignin. And she worked a lot about the solvent designs for biofuels and chemicals production in the direction of green chemistry, which is very important nowadays for many researchers and industry. She involved and contribute in many design establishing for green solvents, especially for the lignin nanoparticle production and such type of composite, which is widely used in wide range of application. She has very strong track records and experience in working for the University of Technology Petronas and University of Technology Malaysia. In fact, Dr. TAZIEN, she was our visiting fellow in IBD, and we are going to welcome her again soon, inshallah. Her experience in a separation process, lignin nanoparticles, lignin fractionations techniques, ionic liquids, dissolution mechanism of the lignin and various solvents. She is familiar with the high-end analysis. And in her research, if you go to her papers and publications, it's amazing work actually, which is including many analyses from FTIR, NMR, GPC, and XRD, and SEC, TGA, and all those techniques which is widely used for this application. Dr. Rashid has a command and analyzing data and mathematical modeling also for the lignin extraction, and thermal kinetics. And she is, before that, she described herself usually, she is a good professional in teaching. Therefore, today you are not going to hear a lecture from normal scientists, but with someone who is passionate for teaching. And I am looking to hear her very interesting lecture about the up-to-date topic about the lignin valorization. Thank you very much again, Dr. TAZIEN. And we are all very interesting and waiting for your very interesting lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Hisham, for giving me an honor and a very nice briefing about myself. I'm very much obliged, and I'm very much obliged that you gave me a chance to present my research topic regarding lignin valorization. So first of all, I will have a little introduction about myself. I have a 20 years experience, total of 20 years experience, out of which I worked 2 years in industry, Pakistan in the fertilizer industry, and then 18 years of teaching experience. And from 2013 onwards, I went into research, and you can say that 10 years of research experience. So currently I'm working as a head of department in chemical engineering technology, Government College University, Faisalabad. My PhD is from University of Technology Petronas, and I'm a visiting fellow in University of Technology, Malaysia now. So we will start with the presentation shortly. So this is the basic topic, and my whole research is on the lignin polarization. So we can go one by one. So first of all, this is the sequence of the presentation. We will discuss about the introduction, what are the routes to lignin utilization, goal statements, primary challenges and success factors, management approach, what are the technical approach that needs to be adopted for the better value addition of the lignin, and then comes the summary at the end. So what is lignin? Basically, lignin, we have a wood, and lignin is the woody biomass. It is a part of woody biomass, and that is lignocellulosic biomass that consists of three main components: cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin, and other extractives. So we can see that lignin is the basic second most abundant polymer, natural compound, but that binds the biomass structure and holds the whole structure of the plant. So it is a glue-like structure. It is very recalcitrant in the nature. It is not very easy to deconstruct it, to have different biochemicals, to chemicals and value-added products for that. So normally what happens, the acid extraction takes place and acid is added into the wood, and lignin is taken out as a raw that is burned for the low grade fuel. And the basic emphasis is given to the cellulose and hemicellulose to get the products. So our emphasis is that why should we waste lignin product, because lignin is 20 to 25% part of the wood. We should use it for the value added products. We can use it for the biofuel production. So our work is to emphasize the lignin production, physical extraction. Physically, it should be strong. It should be it should not be deconstructed, and definitely lignin deserves more than just burning. So our emphasis is to get a better version of lignin from the woody biomass. So normally the routes for the lignin utilization which are being adopted are mostly cost-effective pre-treatment is used that uses the different solvents that, as I have discussed before. The solvents used are acids and bases, and they deconstruct the lignin structure. But now the techniques are going for ionic liquids, photic ionic liquids, and this work is done with limited success. So, what are the ways to go for better value? We have to go for the breakdown. We should break down the lignin structure because it is very much complicated biopolymer. We have to go for the monomers. We have to change its structure. We can get different value added monomers from that. So the techniques normally used are chemical methods and biological methods. But these methods are not producing lignin with efficient outcome. So, what is native lignin? We can see that lignin is a complicated structure. It has hemicellulose also a part of this. So, normal polysaccharides, they have carbon and oxygen bond, but when the acid treatment breaks it, it converts into carbon-carbon link structure, and carbon-carbon link structure is more recalcitrant. It goes for high temperature treatments. It needs high temperature pre-treatments to convert it into value-added products. So the goal statement for today's topic: what can we do? We can develop viable processes to produce valuable co-products from lignin. We can contribute to 2025 cost targets in the nation in biofuel conversion and catalytic upgrading of sugars and hydrocarbons from lignin. And third, the goal is of this presentation that we can support other lignin projects domestically and internationally. So that will be helping for the research and the collaborations as well. So biomass fraction, as the little introduction is already given, it has lignin, cellulose, and hemicellulose, which is reconstructed using pre-treatment techniques. And the pre-treatment techniques are chemical, solvent fractionation, and biological fractionation, and physical fractionation. So chemical fractionation, as I have already told, that kraft pulping and sulfide pulping are the basic techniques which are destroying the lignin structure and emphasizing more on the cellular structure. And solvent fractionation is organosol and ionic liquid pretreatment, and our work is basically emphasized on ionic liquid pretreatment. So that process is costly, it is non-commercial, it is not more applied on the commercial scale, it's a lab scale process. So the basic consequence is that we should upgrade the process, we should commercialize the process, and how we can add the value in it. So different lignins obtained from different methods we will discuss in this slide. That The acid hydrolysis, why we want to go to the protic ionic liquids? Because acid hydrolysis lignin has extensive structure changes. They give high molecular weights, they give high sulfur contents, which are not required for the value addition and valorization of lignin. Similarly, soda lignin, as we go upward, we see soda lignin, it has same problems, extensive structure changes, high molecular weights, high sulfur contents. Aganosol lignin is better version of lignin, but it has high operating temperatures. It has moderate molecular weight changes and the solvent recovery is less. So the next technique, which is ionic liquid treatment, it gives no sulfur contents, it gives low molecular weight, but it is high viscosity liquid and it is uneconomical process. So now the research which I am focusing is my research in the PhD, that we have done a lot of work on that, and that had a very good output of this. This is protic ionic liquids. They are very cheap. They are hydrogen donor ionic liquids. They have very low molecular weight and they have no sulfur contents. They give high calorific, and but this needs to be commercialized. We need to commercialize the process. So we can say that the chemical depolymerization of lignin has different bottlenecks. So we have main products from lignin are, the main products are macro, like we can have polymeric materials, we can have carbon fibers, activated carbon, benzene, toluene, xylene. These all are the chemicals which we can obtain from the lignin. We can have fuel, hydrocarbons, aromatic rich synthesis gas. And what are the current lignin feedstocks? All the current feedstocks from which we can get this polymeric lignin are again the same craft. Everywhere craft, organosol, soda, craft, organosol. So everywhere the raw material going into the industry is the craft and soda lignin. So we want to upgrade the craft and soda lignin to protic ionic liquid soda lignin, a protic ionic liquid treated lignin, which is better version of lignin, which is natural physical version of lignin, and its original native structure is not disrupted in this. So basically, the challenge which is associated with it is the heterogeneity, which is the main barrier to lignin upgradation. And overcoming lignin heterogeneity is the key problem in lignin valorization to chemicals. So we are more concerned with the deconstruction and the heterogeneity and molecular weight distribution of that. So the primary challenges and the success factors are, the barriers are basically the efficient pretreatment. We should develop a new lignin-centric pretreatment process. Efficient low temperature deconstruction should be there so that the green solvent should be there and it should be recyclable for the lignin resolution. Not high temperature, because high temperature destroys the original native lignin structure. And efficient catalytic upgrading of aromatics. These are the challenges that we should develop new lignin biocatalyst. So we can see as from days and years, the patents for the lignin are increasing from years to years, and lignin utilization will be major benefit for the biorefinery infrastructure. So we should have a production upgradation of biofuel. We should have characterization of that lignin, not only extracting. We should design a new solvent. We should reduce impurities in the bio oil and then bio oil commercialization. So this is the path we should follow for the better valorization of the lignin, and different research and design of new solvents should be there. So, what is lignin reduction by a protic ionic liquid? So, for addressing all these challenges, we have synthesized a one-step reaction and one-step protic ionic liquid, which has more chemical stability, which is recyclable, which requires the cheap starting material, because normally the ionic liquids require a very expensive starting materials, so their cost is very high. The newly designed protic ionic liquids in my research are negligible vapor pressure. They are capable of hydrogen bonding. They are less expensive. So this can be a green path and green solvent for the commercialization of the lignin valorization. So the use of procticanic liquid in lignin extraction, then thermophysical properties are not yet been extensively investigated. So there is a room for the research of that. So technical approach, we will follow existing technologies, use high temperature, harsh chemicals. They generate large amount of lignin as a waste to be burned. We have used the proticanic liquids for lignin extraction, rigorous experimental and optimization and computational techniques, and then thermal kinetics and the extraction kinetics. They all gave us the reduced energy, they reduced time, they reduced solvent consumption, and the solvent was recyclable. So normally the characterization of lignin, first of all, it is very important to get the lignin out, and then the second most step is that it should be verified that the elemental analysis, that what is the outcome of the result, that does this has a proper extracted structure. Yes, it can be tested with FTIR, NMR. What is the molecular weight distribution? We check it with GPC. What is the thermal stability? Thermal stability is very important for the lignin, that it can stay, it can hold with the reactions having in the high temperature. So TGA analysis. So all of these techniques will be tested. So what we can conclude from that, the newly designed solvents with hydrogen capabilities could be useful for efficient pyrolysis, product recovery, because they are less corrosive and they are more stable, and that's why the bio oil obtained from the ionic liquid will be more in calorific value and will be very high in oxygen acetaldehyde contents. So, what is the management approach? How can we do the valorization of the lignin? We can synthesize the proticanic liquids, which are green. We can go for the extraction. After extraction of the lignin, we use the characterization various techniques that the lignin is successfully extracted, and then after that, or not only achieving the successful extraction of lignin is the goal, we should check that is it really capable of producing bio oil or other products or other chemicals, benzene, xylene, toluene, alcohols, and acids from that. Yes, we have checked it also with the PyGC analysis, SEM analysis, XRD, bio production is also performed. So these are some little results which we can compare. FTIR showed that you can see this is red. Red one is the craft lignin, which is deconstructed, and we can see that all the proticanic liquids treated lignins have more conjugated carbonyl regions. They are more phenolic OH groups, and the original structure is not disturbed in this. Similarly, NMR analysis confirms that this is the craft lignin. We can see that this bond, which is phenolic proton, this phenolic proton is present in the proticanic liquid extracted lignin, but it is absent in the craft lignin. And that is the major backbone of the lignin, which is extracted in the new techniques, which can be good path for the lignin valorization. So GPC analysis is a very good technique which compares the polydispersity of the lignin molecule. So polydispersity shows that how much the polymer is converted into monomer. So the lesser is the ratio, the more is the smaller monomers obtained and the molecular weight is reduced. So we can see that craft lignin has a 3.2 or 291, and other lignins like my emphasis is on Malaysian because my PhD is from Malaysia. So I worked on the different portions of lignin which were obtained from the palm oil. The palm plant, we worked on the empty fruit bunches, we palm kernel shells, and mesocarp fibers. We all worked on that. So the polydispersity is reduced as compared to the craft lignin. That was 3.21, and you can see that 1.9, 1.9, 2.1. So polydispersity was reduced. This is the lignin structure, craft lignin, and these all are the proticanic liquid treated lignins. Thermal gravimetric analysis was performed. We can see that the onset temperature of all the proteinic liquid increased. The Kraft lignin onset is to 10. The degradation temperature was also increased because it is more thermally stable. It is not easy to degrade it. And complete combustion also increased, sorry, reduced. Residue weight was also reduced. Residue weight shows that more residue weight is obtained, that the combustion is not complete. So residue weight is lesser, that means the combustion is complete and the product is good to give a full reaction. So we can also assure that the glass transition temperature of the lignin was also natural. It was not changed. It was in the same range during the DSC analysis. After that, the SEM analysis also shows that this is the original, this is the untreated, and after treatment of the biomass, you can see that the structure is more agglomerated. The more agglomerated structure shows that we can work easily on that for pyrolysis, for gasification, and for other thermal processes, because the structure is now agglomerated. We need to put lesser energy into that, we need to put lesser temperatures into that, and we can have a more product at lower temperatures. So it will be saving the energy for that. So this is some of the samples we had for the biofuel production from the lignin, and the calorific values for the Kraft lignin you can see is 24,829, and for the treated, for the proteinic liquids higher lignin contents, we have the calorific value is increased. Similarly, this is for the lignin calorific value. But if we talk about the cellulose rich residue which was treated, also the Kraft lignin, also the calorific value was increased, the sulfur contents were reduced in the treated proteinic liquid treated lignin. Then I performed the PyGC analysis. The PyGC analysis is very important for taking the lignin to the pyrolysis process. This shows that the phenols, aromatics, how much phenols are present in the extracted lignin. So this work has this much amount of 10.0 to 14, 15, but literature shows that the maximum is 13, 1.6, 0.55. So we can say that this research has given us the more phenol contents. This work has given us the more aromatic contents, and similarly, bio-oil production was performed, and light weight oils were more obtained, because these all things depend. The biochar, the char was reduced, the char contents were reduced as compared to the literature. You can see that the Kraft lignin has produced 51, 50, and 16, but the current research and the new edition has reduced the char contents. It has increased the heavy oil and liquid oil productions. So the process is going more towards the heavy and lighter oils production, and char is reduced. So this is the main emphasis for the commercialization of the bio-oil production, that we should have lesser chars, we should have more products. So conversion of lignin into bio-oil, many research is being performed in U.S. Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy, NREL, the Manchester University, and Washington State University. They are going and they are doing all these research. They are converting, they are taking lignin. See, this is the biomass, the lignin is taken out, and that lignin is converted into jet fuel even. They are producing bio oils from that. So as a high capacity factor, each plant could process up to 400 tons per day of lignin. And lignin can offer economic and sustainability value to biorefineries, which unfortunately is being ignored and being burned as a low grade fuel. So we can upgrade the lignin production, lignin valorization. What should be the future works for that? Efforts on lignin upgrading as stand-alone process and co-utilization with carbohydrate. It should not be. It should not be taken as a second necessary part or thrown as a just low-grade fuel. So technology transfer should be there, working with multiple industry partners, build commercialization path to lignin utilization, a big room for the research. We can have lignin derived precursors, we can have different deconstruction techniques, model compound production, and direct and functional replacement chemicals from the biomass. So, what is the summary of the whole discussion? We should have external favorable conditions. We should have mandatory targets in terms of increased sustainability and reduction of greenhouse gas emission. We need to increase the biorefinery sustainability and profitability. And what are the threats which are involved with that? That volume of lignin from pulp and paper could be reduced in the future. In the long term, the development of hydrogen-based power system can reduce the use of lignin for fuel. So because this is when the it is directly burned, and we cannot get it from that directly for the useful extraction from the green solvents, so it will be wasted a lot. So what is the future research efforts we should put in for the biomass in the future can have many competing applications. They need to enlarge the current lignin feedstock availability by developing novel processes. So suitable to valorize lignin from different sources. So research in the short term should be performed, increase exploitation of the most abundant technical lignins, and research in the investigation of novel future solvents for that should be there, and the yield should be also proven that we have the feasibility of the production from the lignin for the suitable chemicals and biofuels. So lignin chemistry, we should have a key element, lignin deconstruction. We should know the path for the chemical thermal oxidative reduction, and standardize the lignin properties. We should have not only extraction, as I discussed before, not only taking the lignin out, we should explore that in the actual actual objective is being performed for the lignin extraction. So that's all for the today's lecture. I hope it was useful for you. So my it is open for the question and answers. If anybody from the audience have some questions, you can ask me. Hi, Farah. Farah.
Hi, hi. Sorry for the slight delay of my appearance. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
so thank you, Dr. Tazin, for the very, shall I say, very technical and very looks very complicated. Your research, which is about lignin valorization, but
Yeah.
I'm sure this research or this area or this field is very, very interesting for us to see as an alternative for bio oil and biofuel, right? The
Yes, yes.
lignin.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I don't think I see a lot of explanation on the process of valorization itself. Would you care to like explain which part of the process is called valorization and which part of
Yeah.
the sequence?
Yeah, actually, the lignin valorization has many steps. It has solvent extraction, it has biological like fermentation, aerobic, anaerobic processes, it has chemical, it has thermal like pyrolysis, like gasification and all. So
I see.
valorization means that, yeah, valorization means that what part of technique we want to adopt. So for our research, we have adopted solvent extraction technique. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
solvent
valorization is the series of
series,
processes.
yeah,
Oh, I
series of
see.
processes, that which process you want to actually it explains that how safely and how physically you can extract lignin. That is the more important step.
I
So
see.
let's see, if we want to go to pyrolysis, let me make you understand. If I take a biomass from the plant and I put it directly into the pyrolysis plant, will this give us more efficiency, or if I take the biomass from the plant, if I pre-treat it, if I make it the contents more valuable, more easily extracted, more molecular weight reduced, more thermally stable, and then I put it into the pyrolysis plant. So which one will
Mhm.
give the more yield? The one which is already
I see.
pre-treated with the solvent, the properties are enhanced, and then more production will come, so that is basically the valorization step to enhance the qualities of lignin before going into the pre-treatment and the other pyrolysis step.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now I understand. It's not one specific process, but it's the
Hmm.
steps or the effort to enhance the price,
Yes.
enhance the value, the status
Yes.
of the material, isn't it? Okay,
True, true.
so
Yeah.
lignin conventionally is used for what, Dr. Tazin?
Yeah, conventionally, paper industry is the major source of production of lignin. The paper industry, what they do, they take the cellulose out. They want the cellulose and hemicellulose for paper industry, and the lignin they
Mm,
just throw it in the low
I
grade
see.
fuel for the burning of the for heat transfer for boilers or something like this, because
I see.
valorization is not present in lignin. They
I
valorize
see.
cellulose. They waste lignin. So my
I
part
see.
is, why should we waste lignin? We should
I
valorize it
see.
as well. Yeah.
How does it
So
look like after it has been after the cellulose has been taken out? How does it look like, the lignin?
it looks like it's called a black liquor. It's like
Black
a
liquor.
black
Oh,
slurry material. Yeah.
I
So
see, I
that's
see.
it's
Because
a
it has
black
a
liquor.
very glamorous name of lignin, but but we don't
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
it's actually waste that comes out from the cellulose removal process,
Cellulose.
right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
take the cellulose, and then lignin is
Hmm.
usually the waste. So you want
The
to
waste.
upscale, or not upscale, you want to upgrade the value of the
Yes.
lignin to be used as
True.
bio-oil and biofuel. Okay, so I
Yes.
hope
Yes.
from our little question and answer session with you and me, between you and me, has increased some understanding in the audience.
Yes.
All right, so I think we're ready for the question from the audience.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So we have a question from Dr. Nurizian Wanazli. So may I know, for your extracted lignin, what kind of products that you have applied for, and what is your opinion for lignin to be used in cosmetic?
Okay. So basic products we extract from lignin are phenols, they are alcohols, they are benzenes, they are xylene, toluenes, and not only the biofuel. So many organic compounds are obtained from that. So for the cosmetics, we can have organic compound where we need organic, as I have shared in my presentation. If let me go and explain. Can I open my presentation again?
Can she open the presentation again? Okay.
Uh, okay. Wait. Okay. There is it. So we can. I can show you this one. In the start, I have discussed about the lignin utilization. So we have different cosmetics. We have different uh, organic compounds obtained from there. This one. So this slide shows that we have dispersant, we have phenolic resins, we can have blends of energy storage systems, we can have carbon fiber and fuels and aromatic compounds. So any aromatic compound which can be used in the cosmetics, we can have like benzyl, phenols, aromatic alcohols, vanillin. Vanillin is used in the cosmetics as well. So we can use it in the value addition.
I see. So I hope that answers the question from Nur Izian. So can we have another question from the audience? Okay, from Muhammad Amirul. Hi, doctor. May I know what is the current usage of plant lignin that has been used widely in the industry?
Hmm. Industry, the basically plant use, which we have already discussed, is the low grade fuel. But now the research has much better and much valorize the lignin production. Biofuel, jet fuel, the industry is going to the jet fuel. Even they have, as I mentioned, in the USA, National Renewable Energy Laboratory has gone and they advanced the research to the jet fuels as well, which is
I
very
see.
useful. Yeah, National
I see.
Renewable Energy Lab in USA has
I see.
upgraded it. Yeah. So see how much
Oh,
it
yeah.
has upgraded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think the conversion is worth the valorization?
And the most
Conversion, the price. Uh-huh.
the most good the thing which you asked me, the industrial use is glue. You know the glue which binds the wood, the
Uh-huh.
dispersants, that is lignin based, because
I
lignin is
see.
basically a glue that holds
I
the plant,
see.
like our bones hold us, like lignin
I
holds the
see.
plant. So the glue dispersant is obtained from the one magic glue which you say, I don't know what,
Super
white glue.
glue.
Super glue. Yeah, super
Yeah,
glue. Very useful thing these days. This is lignin.
I see. I see. But I'm just afraid of I mean,
Cost.
in the past it has been looked as waste because they haven't found a way to valorize the product, I mean to upgrade the value of lignin. But I was just afraid that the conversion process into something more useful would involve a lot of energy, a lot of chemicals, and it would not be worth it. What do you think of it?
Okay, that is the very good point actually, because this is already being, this is my research, you can say, because the acid destroys acid is cheap, but it destroys the structure. Base is cheap, it destroys the structure. Then
Mm-hmm.
organic solvents, they are cheap, but they are not recyclable. They evaporate. They cannot be get fully recycled, so it is costly. Now comes the ionic liquid, which we have discussed. The ionic liquid initial raw materials are very costly. So if we get a chance to commercialize these protic ionic liquids, which is the research of this topic, the protic ionic liquid, simple organic solvents we can synthesize in one step. We can have water addition, and the reaction is low temperature, only 75 to 100 degrees centigrade, but the other techniques use 300, 400 degrees centigrade. So if we reduce the temperature, if we synthesize a cheap solvent, which is the actual research, and my publications are all about that. So
Mm-hmm.
just the commercialization of this technique, which is depends on the projects, and we can apply for the projects. And if we go for, and one more thing, I have also performed techno-economical survey of that in my research. The
I
techno-economical
see.
showed that it is a cheaper process but needs to be commercialized.
I see. So for your so far, what's the highest yield or conversion that you can get for lignin
This
into
one,
biofuel or into bio oil? Uh-huh.
we I have discussed in this. The yield was more for the heavy and light oils, and
Mm-hmm.
the char was less produced in this slide. Can you see the slide?
If it's by percentage, I mean, how much light oil and how much in
Yield.
percentage
Uh,
yield. So this is
the
all in
yield.
percentage, right? Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this one is the yield of light oil. See, the craft lignin gives 10, 11%, and
Mm,
heavy oil it gives 19 and 20%. But the proteinic liquid treated it gives 26. Lighter oils and heavy oils are 31
mm-hmm,
more than the craft. And you can see also the non-condensable gases are also present in this. Char is reduced, but char
mm-hmm,
was 51, 50, 16 in the craft lignin. But this work
mm-hmm.
reduced the char also. And you can also
Okay.
see that PIGC, the phenols and aromatics on the upper column. You can see
Mm-hmm.
that the phenols and the aromatics are also increased in this. So
I
this is
see.
the this is the research we had. We have characterized each and every step. Like
I
we have
see.
We have used the calorific value test also. You can see the calorific
I
value
see.
has also
As fuel,
increased.
as
Hmm. Ah.
okay.
The lignin, craft lignin, the
All right.
black lignin, that is also increased. And we performed the SAM analysis. The structure was more easier to break after treatment.
Hmm,
See?
I see.
These all,
All right, thank
uh,
you for the explanation, Dr. Tazin. So, is there any more question from the audience that yeah, okay, from Miss Suryani here. Hi, doctor. As lignin is not the major composition in most plants, do you see that lignin extraction can be valorized in large scale for wide applications? What do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah. Very good question. Very good question. I appreciate it. So, Malaysia is rich in palm oil. See, the palm oil industry, oil industry, what they do, they take the oil, they take the fruit, and they throw the leaves. They throw the leaves, they throw the shells, they throw like similarly the biomass waste. We can take the biomass waste and the waste utilization. From the waste we can take out lignin from the solvent, from the big industries which are wasting the empty fruit bunches. We can use them, we can use any kind of waste of it. So there you can emphasize that how much we are not going to take from the useful plant, we are going to take them from the waste. And waste utilization, that is going to be a more value addition into the process.
I see. Okay. All right. So, is there any more question? I hope that answers the question. And there's another from Ms. Zawiya. Hello, doctor. Among the plants, which plants have the most lignin composition based on your experience?
Good question. Very good question. I think this student is doing research in lignin. I feel that because this is a very good question. Okay, the lignin is, as I told you, is the glue content. It's the hardest content. So first of all, physical appearance. The grasses which are softer have less lignin.
I
The the,
see.
the tree stem which is harder has more lignin.
The
So
we
the harder,
the woody plants has more
the,
lignins. Yeah, I
yes,
see.
the harder the part, the more lignin. Like if we say that palm oil, you must also know empty fruit bunches, fiber like less lignin. The kernel shells, the shell of the fruit has more lignin than the fiber. So as the structure goes strong, the lignin gets more in that. That is the typical, you can say, the
Trend.
identification.
The trend, yeah.
The typical trend. The softer, the lesser. The harder,
I
the more.
see. I see. And from your PhD, from what plants do you extract your lignin from?
Malaysian palm oil.
Malaysian palm oil. Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Oil palm.
seems to have we seems to have um not use the lignin that we have from the palm oil as
Yeah,
to the
you can
maximum
use.
potential.
It can increase your Malaysian's economy because I went to the palm oil industry myself. I collected the fiber, I collected different parts, I washed them, and then we studied it very well. So I wish, it is my big dream that if we can commercialize it, yeah, it will a big economy, big achievement for the
I
for
see.
people. Yeah.
I see. So we hope Malaysia can maximize the potential of the lignin we have in our material, also resources from our abundant uh, biomass that we have around
Biomass.
us.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
from
Yeah.
biomass. I think
Yeah.
that's all the
Very.
question we have, Dr. Tazin. And I think it is a very, very pleasant and very nice session to give knowledge to our audience and also to give some to urge us to look around us and use whatever we have to the maximum potential they have. So I think That's all the time we have for the question and answer. I pass the session back to the organizer to wrap up.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tazien. Thank you very much, Dr. Mazura, for this very interesting session and for the biorefinery, which is the future of the world now. Everyone talking about the green chemistry, high value green chemistry, and especially the lignin one. And I hope, as I know, we have MOU collaboration initiated by Dr. Mazura and you.
Hmm.
I hope this will
Yeah.
continue in this direction and bring
Yes,
more
sure,
collaboration.
sure.
And
Inshallah.
Yeah, sure. Inshallah.
inshallah, to
Inshallah.
welcome you soon in Malaysia, inshallah.
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 Inshallah, bro. Thank
Inshallah.
you so much for
Um,
giving me an honor. I'm very much obliged. I hope the lecture was useful for the students and for the viewers as well. I'm much obliged. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And with this, I would like to say thank you for everyone, especially for our audience who were with us today in IBD. And thank you very much. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Dr. Tazin. Okay, Prof. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, Prof. Bye.